Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnana-anjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayyam Dadati Swapada Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti-vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 33, Activities of Lord Kapila. So we are at text 6. Beautiful words. We'll just recite it once and then we'll continue with the purport. Yannamadheya Shravananukirtanat
Yannamadeya Shravananukirtanat
Yadgrahanat Yat Smaranat Api Kvachet
Yat Prahanat
Svādopi Sadhya Savanaya Kalpate
Svadopi Savanaya Kalpate
Uta Punaste Bhagavan Darshanat To say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Even a person born in the family of the dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers his obeisances, or even remembers him. This is the very fitting glorification of the holy name by Mother of God, Devahūti, mother of Kapila Muni. So we continue with the purport. Yeah, please continue.
Sridhara Swami especially remarks in this connection, Anena Pujyatvam Lakshate. Some caste Brahmanas remark that by chanting Hare Krishna, purification begins. Of course, that depends on the individual process of chanting. But this remark of Sridhara Swami's is completely applicable if one chants the holy name of the Lord without offense. For he immediately becomes more than a Brahmana. As Sridhara Swami says, Pujyatvam, he immediately becomes as respectable as most learned Brahmana and can be allowed to perform Vedic sacrifices. If simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord one becomes sanctified instantly, then what can be said of those persons who see the Supreme Lord face to face and who understand the descent of the Lord as Devahūti understands Kapiladeva? Usually, initiation depends on the bona fide spiritual master who directs the disciple. If he sees that a disciple has become competent and purified by the process of chanting, he offers the sacred thread to the disciple just so that he will be recognized as 100% equal with a Brahmana. This is also confirmed in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa by Sri Sanatana Goswami. As a base metal like bell metal can be changed into gold by a chemical process, any person can similarly be changed into a Brahmana by Diksha Vidhana, the initiation process. It is sometimes remarked that by the chanting process one begins to purify himself and can take birth in his next life in a Brahmana family and then be reformed. But at this present moment, even those who are born in the best Brahmana families are not reformed, nor is there any certainty that they are actually born of a Brahmana fathers. Formerly, the Garbhadana reformatory system was prevalent, but at the present moment, there is no such Garbhadana or seed giving ceremony. Under these circumstances, no one knows if a man is factually born of a Brahmana father. Whether one has acquired the qualification of a Brahmana depends on the judgment of the bona fide spiritual master. He bestows upon the disciple the position of a Brahmana by his own judgment. When one is accepted as a Brahmana in the sacred thread ceremony under the Pancharatrika system, then he is Dvija, that is twice born. That is confirmed in the by Sanatana Goswami. Dvijatvam Jayate. By the process of initiation, by the spiritual master, a person is accepted as a Brahmana in his purified state of chanting the holy name of the Lord. He then makes further progress to become a qualified Vaishnava, which means that the Brahmanical qualification is already acquired. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada quotes Sridhar Swami that Anena Pujyatvam Lakshate. So the people are instantly purified. So sometimes this is objected by the smart Brahmanas or caste Brahmanas who say that no, chanting is powerful, but their purification begins. But Sridhar Swami says that if one chants the holy name of the Lord, especially without offenses, then it completes the purification and not just begins the purification. He becomes more than such a Brahmana, and this is why he says Pujyatvam. He immediately becomes as respectable as the most learned Brahmana. And this is the power of offenseless chanting. Correct. This is the power of, and therefore we should be always aware of these 10 offenses against the holy names of the Lord. And every day in ISKCON temples, before japa, we recite these offenses to be avoided during japa and during the day, so that we can chant the holy name purely. And then the verse says that if this is the condition of those who speak about the Supreme Lord or chant his name, what to speak of those who can see him face to face? Srila Prabhupada further quotes the initiation ceremony, and initiation depends on the bona fide spiritual master. And Srila Prabhupada quotes Sanatana Goswami from Hari Bhakti Vilas, where there is a beautiful verse. Yatha kanchanatam yati kasyam raksha vidhanatah tatha diksha vidhanena dvijatvam jayate indranam. So just like with a suitable process, a bell metal can be changed into gold, right? This is the alchemy is all about, changing iron into gold. Similarly, any person can be changed. Any person, this is any person who is willing to and follow the instructions of the spiritual master can be changed into a Brahmana as Dvida Vidhana by initiation process. Tatha Diksha Vidhanena Dvijatvam Jayate Indranam. Srila Prabhupada says that by the chanting process, one begins purification, and sometimes people say, then one will attain the Brahmanatvam. But Prabhupada says, no. By chanting, actually one becomes a Vaishnava, who will eventually surpass the standard of a learned Brahmana also. And it all depends on, the importance of Garbhadan Samskar. Prabhupada writes here that by Garbhadan Samskar, the proper progeny can be, there can be a proper progeny. And similarly, by the Samskar of Dvija, Diksha, and when the person takes Diksha very seriously, the vows of initiation very seriously, there will be complete transformation. In fact, in that book, Guru and Disciple, Srila Prabhupada writes, one symptom of a proper initiation is that the disciple will become very wise and he will speak wisely. Right. So this is one of the symptoms of initiation. And then Prabhupada quotes Pancharatrika Vidhi, where there is Dvijatvam Jayate, one will keep on progressing. So Brahmajanati iti Brahmana, then he advances to study the scriptures and become Dvija, and then he further advances to take shelter of the Supreme Lord and he becomes Vaishnava. And when somebody becomes a Vaishnava, he already surpasses the lower position of just being a born Brahmana. So, and all this is by offenseless chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Next verse, text 7, highly celebrated verse of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, glorifying chanting the holy names of the Lord. We'll recite this 3 times. Aho batasva pachato gariyan.
Aho batasvapachato agariyan.
Yajjimbhagre vartate nama tubhyam.
Yajjivagre vartate nam tubhyam.
Te pustapaste juhuvusna surarya.
Te pustapaste juhusura arya.
Brahmanama grananti ete. What we'll do, we'll read the translation and then you will recite, when we recite, we will appreciate more this verse. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy names. Ahobata. Okay. Even if born in the family of dog eaters, svapachato, such persons are worshipable. Gariyan, pujya hai log. Persons who chant the holy names of the Lord must have executed all kinds of austerities. Tepus tapaste. And fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your Lordship, they must have bathed at the holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. So 7 qualification here, Devahūti Mata, she speaks that simply chanting the holy names of the Lord, how one can become extremely qualified. And these are the glories of chanting the holy names. Right. So we'll recite this 2 more times. Tepus tapaste juhu snashurarya. Juhu means Agni Kunda Karna. Snasuhu means taking bath in the holy rivers. Arya means all the manners of the Aryas, the refined personalities of the. Tepu Tapa means very detailed tapasya. And this is the potency of somebody who is chanting the holy name, even if he may be born in the family of dog eaters. So this is the glory of the holy names of the Lord. So we'll recite this now. Aho batashva pachato gariyan. Yajjibhagre vartate nama tubhyam.
Yajjivagre vartate nama tubhyam.
Te pustapaste juhusna surarya.
Te pustapaste juhusura arya.
Brahma churnam grananti ete.
Brahmanuchurnam.
Aho batashva pachoto gariyan.
Patashva pachoto gariyan.
Yajjimbhagre vartate nama tubhyam.
Yajjivagre vartate nama tubhyam.
Te pustapaste juhuvusna surarya.
Te pustapaste juhusura arya.
Brahmanuchurnam grananti ete.
Brahmanuchurnam grunante.
Translation.
Do I read the translation also or direct purport?
Translation.
Okay. Translation. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your Lordship must have executed all kind of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your Lordship, they must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. Purport. As it is stated in the previous verse, a person who has once offenselessly chanted the holy name of God becomes immediately eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. One should not be astonished by this statement of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. One should not disbelieve or think how, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, can one become a holy man to be compared to the most elevated Brahmana. To eradicate such doubts in the minds of unbelievers, this verse affirms that the stage of chanting the holy name of the Lord is not sudden, but that the chanters have already performed all kinds of Vedic rituals and sacrifices. It is not very astounding, for no one in this life can chant the holy name of the Lord unless he has passed all lower stages, such as performing the Vedic ritualistic sacrifices, studying the Vedas, and practicing good behavior like that of the Aryans. All this must first have been done. Just as a student in a law class is to be understood to have already graduated from general education, anyone who is engaged in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, must have already passed all lower stages. It is said that those who simply chant the holy name with the tip of the tongue are glorious. One does not even have to chant the holy name and understand the whole procedure, namely the offensive stage, offenseless stage, and pure stage. If the holy name is sounded on the tip of the tongue, that is also sufficient. It is said herein that Nama, a singular number, one Nama, Krishna or Rama, is sufficient. It is not that one has to chant all the holy names of the Lord. The holy names of the Lord are innumerable, and one does not have to chant all the names to prove that he has already undergone all the process of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. If one chants once only, it is to be understood that he has already passed all the examinations, not to speak of those who are chanting always, 24 hours a day. It is specifically said here, Tubhayam, unto you only. One must chant God's name, not as the Mayavadi philosophers say, any name, such as demigod's name or the names of God's energies. Only the holy name of the Supreme Lord will be effective. Anyone who compares the holy name of the Supreme Lord to the names of the demigods is called pasandi or an offender.
Yeah,
The holy
it's a long
name.
purport. We'll divide it into sections.
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is the glory of the holy name. How glorious are those who are the personalities? Here there is the glory of the devotee. How glorious are those whose tongues are chanted? Yet jivagre, jiva, tongue, agre, the tip of the tongue. Jivagre vartate namatubhyam. On whose tongues, oh my Kapila, he says, your name is being residing there. How glorious are those? Right. Even if they are born in the families of the dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Yet jivagre to ahobat shvapachoto. Shvapachoto means shva means dog. Swapachoto means one is a dog eater. Gariyan, they become worshipable by yet jivagre vartate namatubhyam. This is the glory of holy name. Tepus tapaste juhusna surarya brahmanuchurnam granti yete. They become worshipable. It is understood that they have executed all types of austerities, tapasya, all fire sacrifices, attained all good manners of the Aryans, bathed in the holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required to be an Aryan. This is the glory of somebody whose jivvagre vartate namatubhyam. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that previously we have seen the power of offenselessly chanting the holy name. One becomes immediately qualified to perform the Vedic sacrifices. And this is the previous verse. Immediately becomes qualified. And therefore, one has to be very careful of the offenses and not to commit those offenses. And certain offenses are based on understanding of the scripture, certain offenses are based on Vaishnava etiquette, and certain offenses are based on the process of chanting itself. But if the process of chanting itself is something which can be immediately corrected, like however we chant, we chant with WhatsApp on one hand and feedback on another hand, we are chanting. And more the distracted our chanting is, greater the time it is going to take. So one of the quickest way to chant, to improve one's chanting is, whatever we are chanting, just start chanting very attentively. Not that, while reading newspaper we are chanting, or watching television we are chanting, or chatting and chanting, or, so one has to see that how progressively I can improve the quality of my chanting. In fact, His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj says very beautiful thing. He says that one should chant so intensely that people should be afraid to disturb us in chanting. And again, the time of chanting is also very important. It is not that when the when the daily course of action has started in the house, suddenly we sit in between and say, "No, don't disturb me. I'm chanting." No, sir, that is not the time to chant. As per the, then people will naturally disturb you. Then one has to adjust one life in such a way that one can chant very attentively without disturbance. And there are various ways of chanting, but there are some devotees say that one should at least chant 4 rounds in one go and one should not disturb that. That is called as a one granthi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes this. There are some devotees who say stress on this, that one should chant attentively all 16 rounds in one sitting. One should complete those. Our some very strong devotees. Here in Pune, we have His Grace Rasvigraha Prabhu, who is very vocal about attentive, one sitting, 16-round chanting. So, based on our time, place, circumstances, our progress in our spiritual life, the things we are surrounded by, if somebody is having, 2 small babies, the life is completely different than somebody who is retired and, living on a pension and all in between. But the point is that the chanting has to be very attentive, at least to begin with. This is the lowest hanging fruit for improving one's chanting, is to be attentive when we are chanting. At least let not, within one mantra, speaking to people, within the before the round is complete, talking to 10 different things, thinking about 100 different actions to be done, just moving here and there, visibly disturbed. So these are the something which can be immediately corrected. Again, as per the time, place, circumstances. So is the chanting so powerful? So Prabhupada says here, to eradicate such doubts in the minds, this verse affirms that yes, offenseless chanting is extremely powerful, and as soon as one chants offenselessly, he becomes immediately qualified to perform the Vedic sacrifices. And he has already passed all the lower stages. Just like Prabhupada gives example, somebody is doing MBBS. Somebody is doing MBBS automatically means that he has passed 10th standard. You don't ask him, have you passed 8th standard? Have you passed 10th standard? No, sir. He is doing MBBS, she is doing MBBS. That means they have already passed 8th standard and 10th standard. Similarly, when somebody is chanting the holy names, all the lower activities, they are considered to be already performed, and this is the glory of chanting and not the glory of the chanter. Okay, one should not think, oh, I am, sometimes there is idea thinking that, oh, no, I am so qualified because I am chanting. No, that in the moment we think we are qualified, we become disqualified. This is the, very unique quality of humility. Moment we think I am humble, humility is gone. And moment we think that I am not humble, humility comes back. Okay. So this is the potency of chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Later in the 6th canto, Ajamil Upakhyan, we will see in detail what is the glory of the holy name and how such a sinful person like Ajamil was elevated to such a highest stage of Vaikuntha simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord. And there were a detailed discussion of Yamadutas and Vishnudutas. Vishnudutas are going to give a great explanation about glories of chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord. So those whose tip of the tongues are decorated with the nama, they are considered to be very glorious. In fact, one doesn't have to worry about the understanding of the name also. Bhagavatam writes very beautiful analogy. Bhagavatam says, Jnanat athva ajnanat uttama shloka gunanuyat. Just like the efficacy of the medicine doesn't depend on the person's understanding of the medicine. Like somebody has a fever, 104 fever somebody has. And 2 people have fever. And both are taking paracetamol, right? Now, one person is a PhD in pharma chemistry, and he exactly knows the chemical composition of paracetamol, what are the carbon-carbon double bond, triple bond, and everything he knows very well. And another is a unpad fellow who doesn't know anything, and both of them take the medicine. Both of them take this paracetamol, or they take Kṛṣṇa or Dolo. Nowadays, previously it was Kṛṣṇa. Corona, they spent like 1,200 crores to change that perception from Kṛṣṇa to Dolo. These are official figures. Anyway, so both of their fever will subsidize. Correct. It will come down. The medicine will not think, oh, he knows about me so much. He knows my chemical composition. I will act only on him. And this fellow is unpad fellow, doesn't know. I will not act on him. The effectiveness of the medicine does not depend on the understanding of the medicine. This is Bhagavatam, Ajamil example. Right? So similarly, Prabhupada writes here, one does not have to chant the holy name and understand the whole procedure, like of Nam Aparad, and then Namabhas and Shuddhanam. Nothing is required. Simply take on to chanting and the purification will begin. And that's why you will always see the devotees asking you, Prabhuji, Mataji, are you chanting your rounds? When are you increasing your rounds? This is the entire thought process behind the whole thing. Sometimes they may ask us little irritable way or something like that. But please let us not get irritated by devotees' insistence on chanting, because by chanting, according to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, it is we and only we are going to be benefited. We and our family. Right? And now further, it is said herein that the Nama, a singular number, one name, Krishna or Rama, is sufficient. Right? So this word is Yad Jivagre Vartate Nama Tubhyam. This is not even plural. It is not that lot of chanting. No, sir. Even one holy name. This is a singular. Right? That verse, Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. Acharya is right there. All this is singular. Patram, Ek Patra. Pushpam, just one Pushpa. Phalam, just one Phala. Or Toyam, one drop of water. All singular. They are not, plural. They are not like Pushpau, Phalau, even not Dvivachan or not Bahuvachan. It is just Ekvachan. So, Brahmanuchur Nama Granantiyate. This is the potency of chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord. One does not have to chant all the names to prove that he already undergone the process of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Somebody will say that at least, okay, you are saying Nam, everything. At least chant Vishnu Sahasranam and you start chanting, and then say, no, at least chant Vishnu Sahasranam in correct meter, na Prabhu. At least chant properly. That is also not required. Simply chanting one holy name offenselessly, one becomes instantly qualified. And which holy name? Here it is being said, Tubhyam, unto you only. Sometimes there is a misunderstanding that everything is okay. Yato mat tato pat. You can chant this name, that name, Kali Kirtan, this Kirtan, that Kirtan. No, sir. There is a difference. Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, this is very clearly mentioned. Yanti deva vrata devan, pitrun yanti pitruvrataha. Bhutani yanti bhutejja, yanti madhya janopimam. By worshipping different objects, your destination will be different. If you sit in a different plane, you will reach a different destination. It is not that you sit in any plane and you will reach one destination. No, sir. You will reach different destinations. And therefore, it is being seen and observed that those who are devotees of the demigods, there is no purification in the core of their hearts. Like we can say Hiranyakashipu performing humongous, huge austerity, but there is no purification. Right? We can say Ravana performing huge austerity, but there is no purification. Only Abhiman is increasing and there is no purification. Why? Because the purification will happen Vartate Nama Tubhyam, when one takes the holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is what the prayer is. And therefore, this is one of the offense to consider the names of Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the names of Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, they are very clear about this concept. They themselves are great devotees. Brahmaji has written Brahma Samhita, glorifying every shloka, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Lord Shiva has started his own sampradaya. In fact, Brahmaji also has his own sampradaya, Brahma sampradaya. Shiva has his own sampradaya, Rudra sampradaya, preaching Vaishnavism. They are clear, but sometimes the madness of being obsessed by certain things, one feels that no, everything is equal, we just see everything sarva samabhav. No, that mentality is considered as pashandi or an offensive mentality. So the names has to be the holy names of the Lord. Vartate Namatubhyam. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhupada. Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.